steps forward, already 22.79 at 200 meters this season, and comes through to win her first 400.
And it will be a close one on the finish line. Who won?
And this is Heat 1, the 100 meters.
Is Shericka Jackson still the queen of the 200 meters, or has time finally caught up with her? That's the burning question as the sprinting world gears up for Tokyo 2025, where the women's 200 is shaping up to be one of the fiercest battles in recent memory. Jackson, the reigning two-time world champion and second fastest woman in history over the distance, made her return to form with a sharp victory at the Silesia Diamond League, reminding fans that she still carries the kind of power that once left rivals gasping. But across the globe, challengers are rising. Julien Alfred, the Olympic 100-meter champion, has converted her sprint dominance into a staggering 21.71 personal best over 200, announcing herself as the new danger. And from the United States comes Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, whose 10.65 and 21.84 double at the US Championships proved she is no longer an outsider but a direct threat to the throne. 3 women, 3 different narratives, and 1 crown that history says is too heavy for more than one head. In less than 5 weeks, the stopwatch will decide who keeps it, who claims it, and who walks away broken. When Shericka Jackson stepped onto the track in Chorzów, Poland, she wasn't just racing for points or prize money, she was racing for credibility. After the heartbreak of Paris, where she withdrew from both her events due to injury, whispers had grown louder. Was this the beginning of her decline? Was the Queen of the Bend losing her grip? At Silesia, she answered not with a quote but with her legs, stopping the clock at 22:17 seconds into a slight headwind, beating Olympic medalist Brittany Brown and Nigeria's Favour Ofili, 2 athletes who know how to deliver under pressure. The time itself wasn't earth-shattering, but the execution mattered. Jackson controlled the curve, hit her positions with authority, and carried her form to the line with the same economy that once made her a 21.41 runner. Analysts immediately recognized it for what it was: proof that the engine still runs. Fans who feared the worst saw hope. Her rivals, meanwhile, saw a warning. It wasn't peak Shericka, but it didn't need to be. It was a champion reminding the world that when the stakes rise, she knows how to deliver. And with Tokyo looming, the psychological shift from "is she done" into "she's still dangerous" may prove just as valuable as the race itself. Shericka Jackson isn't judged like other sprinters because Shericka Jackson isn't like other sprinters. In Budapest 2023, she rewrote the definition of elite with a breathtaking 21.41 in the 200 meters, the second fastest performance in history and a mark that sits only behind Florence Griffith Joyner's legendary world record. It wasn't just the number that stunned the track world, it was the way she did it. Her curve was clinical, her transition flawless, her last 50 meters relentless. That run didn't just win a world title, it created a new standard, one that no other current sprinter has touched. And therein lies the problem. When you've proven you can orbit that high, everything else looks ordinary. A 22:17 victory against quality opposition? For most sprinters, it would be headline news. For Jackson, it's treated as a tune-up, a shadow of the Queen's true power. That's the double-edged sword of greatness. You redefine excellence, then get measured against it forever. Heading into Tokyo, she doesn't just face competitors. She faces the ghost of her own brilliance. Can she find that devastating 21 low pace again? Can she make the bend her kingdom and the straightaway her coronation march? Those are the questions that hover over her every stride. Questions only she can answer when the gun goes off at the World Championships. If Jackson's threat is history, Julien Alfred's weapon is momentum. The St. Lucian sprint star captured Olympic gold in Paris 2024 over the 100 meters, proving she could handle the most suffocating pressure the sport has to offer. But in 2025, she's added a new chapter. At the London Diamond League on July 19th, in miserable, rainy conditions, Alfred blasted through the curve and powered home in 21.71 seconds, not only smashing her personal best, but also setting a meet record. That performance sent shockwaves across the sport, signaling that she wasn't content to be a 100-meter specialist. She was coming for the 200 as well. Her start, already world-class, gives her a weapon few can match in the half-lap race, and her ability to carry speed off the bend makes her a nightmare for anyone trailing into the straight. The only cloud is health. A mid-August injury forced her to withdraw from the Silesia Lausanne and Brussels meets, leaving a question mark over her sharpness ahead of Tokyo. Still, the blueprint is there. Explode off the blocks, dominate the first 120, and dare anyone, including Jackson, to chase her down. If she's healthy, Alfred isn't just a contender. She might be the one sprinter with the tools to make Jackson look mortal. While Jackson and Alfred grab headlines, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden has quietly built a resume that demands respect and attention. At the U.S. Championships in Eugene this August, she authored a weekend for the ages, storming to a 10.65 in the 100 meters, tying the 5th fastest time in history, before returning to the track to crush the 200 in a personal best 21.84. That double wasn't just historic. It was seismic. For the first time since 2003, an American woman swept both sprints at nationals, and Jefferson did it with authority. Her strength lies in balance. She's fast enough out of the blocks to stay with the best, powerful enough around the curve to stay in contention, and relaxed enough in the home straight to exploit even the smallest mistakes. Unlike Alfred, who thrives on explosive starts, or Jackson, who rules with raw closing power, Jefferson brings a versatility that could make her the most dangerous of all. If she's within striking distance at 150 meters, her composure could tilt the balance. And with U.S. sprinting desperate to reclaim global dominance in the women's 200, Jefferson enters Tokyo not just as a hopeful, but as America's best shot at toppling Jamaica's crown. The doubts about Jackson weren't invented. They were earned in pain. Paris 2024 should have been her coronation, a chance to add Olympic gold to her world titles, but instead it became a ghost story. She scratched from both the 100 and 200, leaving fans and pundits speculating about the severity of her injury. Was it fatigue? Was it something chronic? Or was it just bad luck? The details were never fully clear, but the impact was. Every race since then has been weighed against that absence. That's why Silesia mattered so much. It wasn't just a race, it was proof of resilience. Her stride looked clean, her posture controlled, her mechanics sharp. For her, the season has been about stacking confidence, not chasing times. Each rep, each race, has been a deposit into the account she'll draw from in Tokyo. Yet vulnerability remains part of the conversation. At 30, recovery isn't as easy and the field isn't getting slower. Alfred and Jefferson are rising, hungry, and fearless. Jackson knows this, but she also knows she's been here before, doubted, questioned, written off, only to roar back when the stakes were highest. Tokyo may be the ultimate test of whether Paris was a stumble or the first sign of a fall. So where does that leave us? Shericka Jackson is the reigning queen, the woman who has run faster than anyone not named Flojo, and who just reminded the world that she can still execute under pressure. Julien Alfred is the disruptor, the Olympic champion whose 21.71 proves she has both the speed and the belief to steal the throne if her body allows it. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden is the wild card turned certainty, the U.S. double champion whose momentum could carry her all the way to gold. 3 women, 3 paths, 1 crown. History says Jackson should remain the favorite. Form says Alfred and Jefferson can't be ignored. But sprinting doesn't care about history or form. It cares about who gets it right on the day. And on that day in Tokyo, under the lights, the crown won't be handed out. It will be ripped from the track in less than 22 seconds. The only question is, whose hand will it land in? Drop your predictions in the comments. Because no matter where you stand now, by the time the gun fires in Tokyo, we'll all be holding our breath.